guys, and welcome back to our Alpha Media podcast with myself here, Ben.
And Dave.
This week we thought we'd talk about subscription TV and sort of the future of that and where we believe it's heading after recent events with Netflix and their drop in subscriptions. And sort of go from there, really. If you haven't already, please drop this video a like if you like the content we're doing today. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for when we upload new content. All of that really helps and will go a long way. And we'll get into today's video. So, Dave, you want to talk through recent events with Netflix?
Yes, Netflix had reported that they have lost 907,000 subscribers, which is double to what they predicted. Earlier than that, they have lost 200,000. It's barely purely to the reasons of, not sharing the passwords. That's the reason for it. They changed their laws, how they obviously operate and how they do things and how they want the users to use the platform. And the existing people didn't really like it. And I think also there was an increase in the membership, which again, for the short period of time when the last increase was, from what I remember, it's a bit ridiculous, isn't it? Changing something and not actually adding more stuff to it. Because when you look at Netflix, especially in the UK here, there wasn't a lot of new things or new movies happening. Now they are, because obviously they increased their price, so they're hoping obviously for more engagement from the potential customer. But before that, no, it wasn't. So it's a bit of a shady area, I think, with what Netflix has done. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So on the research before this, and we were looking, sort of the, I guess, fixture table, or like the sort of the order of what seems most popular from the figures, is sort of Amazon leading the way with people more subscribed or subscriptions to Amazon in their Prime package. Then it was the Disney Plus, then onto the Now TV, and then the Netflix, obviously now in the last place due to, like Dave just said, with recent events and cracking down on certain things and how they've changed to operate and do stuff now. But yeah, we were talking beforehand on this podcast about, because I'd never really thought of it really before until breaking it down, but what do they all offer, or what's different, or what for people to subscribe to? So obviously off the back of the pandemic and the 2 years of people mainly staying at home and having to watch more TV or more screen time on things, sort of what did they take to and sort of enjoy the most and go to, really, because they had no choice but to watch more TV. So obviously you see a little bit of difference in numbers there. That's probably what spiked growth for some of them because of obviously the pandemic situation.
Yeah, but when you look at platforms like Amazon's got a lot more to offer, isn't it? So when you purchase the membership for Prime, you get obviously the TV side of things, which you can obviously watch films and stuff, and you also get a discount on your deliveries, on next day deliveries and stuff like that. So there's always an incentive there from a company, isn't it? Netflix, what do they have to provide? They don't have such a extra service, wasn't it? It was just pay and watch kind of thing. They were adding a few things left a bit there, here and there, but it wasn't, a great amount to attract that customer, isn't it? Disney obviously acquired Marvel and all the other ones, and it's obviously continuously growing, and they're obviously developing new series with obviously all the Marvel characters and things like that. So obviously, again, incentive to watches, from what sort of the Marvel films were, they're actually just going forward with it. So it's nice to see, isn't it? But yeah, going back to the Netflix situation, they don't really have much to offer, and they keep obviously cutting in more and more and more and more, and people just decided to leave, isn't it? Pure and simple.
Yeah, I think out of all of them, Netflix has got so much potential, really, hasn't it? Like, if you look where it came from and its history to where it is now, and was it Blockbuster that even turned down the deal at the time, saying it wouldn't ever go anywhere?
Yeah, so they turned down the offer to obviously acquire Netflix and become like the biggest video place ever, like a sharing platform, obviously to watch films and stream films. And they've just turned it down. So obviously we know where Blockbuster is now. Doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist.
Hopefully, obviously, the same thing won't happen to Netflix, obviously, for how greedy they are. Because it would be a shame to obviously to lose a platform like that. I think they just have to change their economics and how they provide to the consumer, and maybe just realize, well, actually, guys, if we just provide them A, B, and C, we can get D and E. Because you do have to invest to get something out of a business, isn't it? No matter where you look. If it's an online business, what we talked about on previous podcasts, whatever, if it's brick and mortar, you always have to invest to get something back, to get that customer, a guest, potential consumer, isn't it? So I think Netflix just needs to sort of step up a little bit, because not being funny, even companies like Now TV, it's owned by Sky. Sky is probably the biggest UK sort of TV provider, isn't it? So you can see obviously how massive it is and how they can develop different things on different scales. So yeah.
I think, like I was saying a minute ago, Netflix has got so much potential, and they seem to be like wasting it. Really, like they've grown from a platform where they were just showing like movies, obviously, that have been created by directors and by like movies, and they're all grouped in one place. You subscribe, watch them unlimited. You haven't got to buy DVDs anymore, and all this DVDs. Tape cassettes before that, all this sort of thing of the past. And they've even gone further than that, as in they've got that much money and that much cash flow. They were buying scripts off directors and like movie people and stuff like that, and then having like high quality movie actors in series, weren't they, and creating stuff. And there's so much potential, but then in the last year, it seems they're going like downhill. Like there's many times I've watched Netflix and they've got like a bad voice over out of sync bloody film, and you watch the film and you see it all happening on Netflix, and then you hear the voice after it, and you think, "What's this about? What's this about in this day and age? Why isn't it all like in sync?" And it's I don't get it. It's the amount of cash flow that business has generated and got through it. There must be more they could do or give, isn't there? I mean, like you were saying earlier, when you compare the other individual services of other businesses that are in the same sort of niche, so to speak, they offer so much more, don't they? Like you say, what are they offering? Just sign up and watch.
Yeah. And bear in mind, Netflix also has the biggest movie studio in the world right now as well, for obviously producing films and content. Again, it's like having the power but not doing anything with it.
Yeah, precisely. What do you see since pandemic and post-pandemic and going forward? What do you see as sort of the future of these platforms and the future of TV in general, I guess?
So, well, let's start 2 years ago. What obviously happened? So obviously massive pandemic, hit the whole world. World has, stood still. People were at home. People decided to obviously start watching all those subscription services, different films, which they're, providing. And yeah, they liked it. I think 2 years has now gone. Obviously, we're sort of back to normality now, and I feel that if the companies won't provide enough content and quality for the potential consumer and the customer, I think they're going to lose a lot more, isn't it? So it's just, I think, creating ideas of where they need to go as a platform and what they can offer. Again, it's investing, isn't it? Investing. I know there is a couple of new films coming out, obviously on, let's say, on a platform like Netflix, which, myself, I quite look forward to. But what more there is to it, what more can you provide? You've cut the whole sharing thing out somehow by obviously not sharing passwords and things like that. It seems to be limiting a lot of things. But again, like I said, all these platforms, they have a big challenge ahead of them, isn't it? Because how do you stay up? How do you stay, as the youth says of this day and age, hype? What's the hype thing about this platform or that platform? Where is it going to be? How are they going to do it? So yeah, they got a lot to do, in my opinion, to actually stay up and just be afloat, really.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good point. It's like, in my opinion, with it all, and probably going past sort of a good few years ahead. I try to think quite well ahead in terms of TV, movie, and stuff like that. It's, in my opinion, where I'd really like to see it to go is to become more engrossed in it, more in it. I think a movie or whatever is really good when you're in it or part of it, like the whole IMAX thing with the IMAX thing they do on this is another bonus for them. The Disney Plus do an IMAX version. You watch the movie normally and watch it in IMAX, and the quality and how they change it looks different.
Yeah.
It makes it more pop, more eye-catching. I watched a film recently over the weekend with a friend, and just the difference in the film. But I mean, yeah, to a certain degree at home, people have got to have their own surround sound set up and a fair-sized, decent TV. But what can the platforms, the subscription people, all the cinemas, what can they be doing to advance it, or to take that step forward? People want to be lost within the film, don't they? They want to be engrossed in it. That's why there's such a big appeal with 3D. But I don't think even with 3D they've nailed it, really, have they?
Yeah.
There's so much more they could do. That how many films they film not in 3D and then they chuck it on a 3D just to make that extra money or whatever, but it then doesn't work, does it?
Yeah.
The ones that were filmed for 3D and they've done the special angles, the thing, and the approaches come at the screen. Obviously, they were filmed for it. They work.
Yeah.
The thought's been there, and I think that's where I'm at. Is once we lost it, and with this whole talk now of the metaverse and the side of social media and that side, surely subscription TV, films, everything is on that same trajectory and that roller coaster kind of thing with the rest of it, isn't it?
Yeah, we have to also look from the VR side of things as well. There's a lot of films. I'm not going to mention what type of films, which you can watch on VR now. Imagine seeing a full-size film that you wanted to watch, like a proper good one. Not the ones that we're thinking about, guys. That you can experience in sort of a VR headset, isn't it? What sort of experience that will bring. It's another level, isn't it? So I've done a 3D thing, but actually be engrossed while watching a headset and you actually be in the film, maybe, and somehow experience the film. Would be amazing, wasn't it? So yeah, maybe they'll come up with something like that. Will be great to see. Pay a subscription to be in a film. Well, hey, actor Dave, ready for action.
Call me. Yeah. No, I think from a Netflix position right now, and business point of view, is they got to want to listen to their audience, and obviously what they've done right now isn't working, is it? The drops in subscriptions. Yeah. They've got to really think up with a new marketing strategy and plan to really change. But then at the same time, don't just rely on just sharing a deal for a certain amount of months is going to cut it and it's going to work on its own. I think they need to evaluate their whole platform and, like you said earlier, what they're bringing, what makes them different to what the target market and they're aiming at for a start, but what makes them different from the other ones that are ahead of them. Also, how can they take it to that next level? That's what I want to see.
And now, quick break for adverts.
Right, what's going on, guys? Dave here from Alpha Media Team. If you are thinking about starting a podcast, but you do not know where to begin or where to start, why not try and give Riverside FM a go? It's a great new tool for the fraction of the price that allows you to create great podcasts with editing capabilities of very expensive programs. So why not click the link in the bio and start your journey on becoming and having the best podcast on the internet.
I'd take this opportunity to talk about what we're about here at Alpha Media. We inspire others to start an online business, give them the blueprints, show them the way to start making their first commission online and escape the 9 to 5. We should have a link listed somewhere, either around or beneath this video in the description. If you click on that link, you'll go through to a web page. On that web page there'll be a video with myself or Dave talking through what those sort of next steps look like and through that process. Apart from that, thank you for taking the time to watch our content and enjoy the rest of the podcast.
Canva is a graphic design tool that works to simplify the process of digital design. Canva allows for image editing and project-based learning using a simple drag-and-drop interface that works well even for younger students. From brainstorming as a group working collaboratively to individual project creations, it has lots of potential uses in the classroom. If you would like to try your skills at Canva, please click the link in the description.
Also, there's one point that we haven't sort of discussed, which I'll bring up, is the investor side of things. So obviously Netflix, as every other company, they do have investors, right? Investors expect, so when investors, invest the money, but I expect this. If they don't see it, investors will go, isn't it? So the whole company's revenue, the whole even perception of a company as Netflix, because if investors are going to leave, it's not going to be much good to them, isn't it? So they're going to lose again. Losing investors is not really great, because investors, if they invest the money, you can create films, you can create TV series, you can create different things, isn't it? So again, that's another sort of side to the business, the investor side of things. How can we keep them happy so they don't lose? And for example, go to Disney, which obviously, like I said before, produces different things, isn't it? So you can constantly just watch a new series, Marvel, Disney, whatever. It's constantly on, isn't it? It's like, the hype now. Everyone's like on Disney. So yeah, it's how you're going to keep, the investors, and how can you attract a potential investor as well to accelerate that sort of vision that Netflix potentially could have, isn't it?
Yeah, I know it sounds stupid, and it kind of sprung on the idea from what you were just saying there, is break down Disney. Obviously they're leaning into their name, they're Disney, and they have the Marvels, but they're niched. It's like if you love Disney, which most people growing up as kids, whatever, had some involvement in their childhood, whatever, was seeing Disney. They've got that. They're just niche. They ain't got to add other branded films on there, from other things, and make it even bigger film platform, because that would destroy their angle, their market. You can't access Disney that much, or much of it in volume, anywhere else. You have to pay their subscription, go to them to see it, unless you're buying DVDs.
Yeah.
Why ain't Netflix doing that? Drop off all the old films of what everyone's done, and just have all what they've created, their Netflix things, and do a hell of a lot more in the pipeline plan, and make them super good quality with the voice in time. None of this rubbish with the voice. It's really good quality with the actors. They've got the buying power. Like you said, they've got the biggest studio in the world.
Yeah.
And you can only go to Netflix to see that, because they don't sell the film or sell the series to any of the other platforms.
Yeah.
So that's a start. You've niched down. You've captured Summit inside a membership area, basically, which is what we're involved in with what we do with affiliate marketing. It's having a membership area. So that's a start. Then look at the marketing behind
how you want to promote it.
How you want to promote it, the products, the deals, whatever. Look at the password thing as a separate thing. Obviously, that has annoyed people, but I think you can see why Netflix has done it. You see both sides of it, because it must hurt subscriptions as well. But I don't think they need to reevaluate. What I'm trying to get, they need to reevaluate from the ground up the whole thing. If they want to keep it alive, well, they will end up losing it, won't they? They'll end up dropping off.
Be another blockbuster, isn't it?
Yeah. Joining Blockbuster, but then, funnily enough, Blockbuster are gone, but they would have been right. Not buying it. Because they said they can't see it going anywhere. Not that they didn't put a time on it when it was going to go.
Yeah.
They left it woolly and open.
John, play my hands, size, whatever.
Yeah, it's going to go. 20 years later, it's gone. Yeah, we told you it was going to go.
There you go. Again, give us a call. No worries. Any advice, we got you.
But yeah, that's my opinion. When you break down into each individual one, like the Amazon Prime, they're all very much doing that, what I've just said. But Netflix aren't.
Yeah.
And I think the problem is way beyond the two things that have happened recently with the password and the price.
I think another thing that's quite annoying, really, is every single country that you've got, it's got a different Netflix, right? So, for example, if people that are smart, I'm sure there is plenty of you who watch this. If you're using a VPN, you can obviously change the country that you're in, and you can actually see for yourself that Netflix in America compared to Netflix in the UK is totally different. Compared to the other countries, so when you go to Germany, obviously you got loads of German films, whatever, it's totally different. To make a massive one platform so everyone can watch everything, I, for example, like to watch American stuff, isn't it? Like a lot of that. Netflix UK doesn't potentially have as much as if you were just to literally just change your country and then obviously watch that. So yeah, just make a massive one, just have everything on it. You know, so people don't have to do this VPN stuff and actually be like, oh, I'm going to pretend I'm somewhere else and watch Netflix if I want. Yeah, that's another thing, isn't it? That pisses people off because you don't have to.
That is a big point. Like, what is the point in that? Because I know a lot of people who do the VPN thing, and it's like talked about, and I think everyone does it, it's common knowledge. But what is the point in it? They're big enough power. Just surely it's not that hard to create it all, and you just search for what you want, whatever. Don't you? You've got a main library. Whatever.
Just have everything on there.
Contents page, like in a book. So, just put it all together. What is this with other countries? And you got to.
God knows.
It doesn't make sense.
No, not at all. But they seem to be the only platform that does it. Everywhere else you go, it's like the same thing.
So, yeah, I think in summary, they've got to really think about their whole business model. They're going to lose it. They're going to.
Yep.
It'd be something that talks about this thing of the past. It's a shame because, like I said earlier, everyone's had through their life involvement with Disney. I'm sure we've all had involvement with different platforms, TV, whatever.
Yeah.
And Netflix is up there with it. Everyone's had times where they've had Netflix and chill, the saying, isn't there?
Yes, but this is just from on a serious side. What was the first video streaming platform that you signed up for? Be honest, what was the first one that you've done? Because for me, it was Netflix. It was like the first, it was like the trailblazer, and obviously the whole video, like, you know, streaming thing, you know, like Netflix. It was
Netflix. I'm trying to think back to when I first moved into my flat and lived on there. It was Netflix.
There you go.
So, yeah. I've signed up to different ones since, on and off. And
but then everyone, whoever you've spoken to, and I remember that back in the day, all we've got, it was only Netflix. It wasn't anything else. Then slowly, gradually, other platforms started growing. You know, Disney wasn't there at the same time as Netflix was. It was sort of Netflix who started, and everyone else just followed, isn't it? So now it's a shame to see a platform like Netflix lose out so much, isn't it? They got lazy. Maybe they potentially got lazy a little bit. And say, well, actually, we started this. We've got our growth. We've got our subscription. People are staying with us. So we're just going to keep it at the same level. But actually, everyone is just like creating this whole evolution thing, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you see that with a lot of businesses and business models. Is they right place, right time. They started the trend. They started and changed the course of history in that particular thing. And then other people copy the idea or like come about it, but then at the same time they go about it in a better way or differently because they've sat there, thought about it more. Right, what are they doing? How can we do it better? And then what happens is if the original platform doesn't evolve and doesn't change, it becomes forgotten about. It goes, and that hasn't happened yet with the likes of like Amazon. Amazon's the first of what it's done. But there will be people that follow suit and business trying to copy what Bezos has done.
Absolutely.
It hasn't happened yet. But like, if Amazon doesn't continue to evolve, like with any business, that soon will be forgotten about and be a thing of past. And this is what's happened with Netflix, is they've really, like you said, greedy, took all the money, everything, lost their way, really lost their way. And now just something simple like password change and price and subscriptions, knocked them. loads more than it should have been done. Because people have sat there like we've done tonight and done this research. And to be honest, I don't watch a lot of TV myself because I'm always busy. But I have to look at this tonight, and I'm not a Netflix subscriber anyway. I'm only a Disney Plus subscriber out of all these things. But looking at like all these things, it's true. Like, why would you want to be subscribed? And why?
Exactly.
If I was right now, I'd probably go home and cancel it. Do you know what I mean?
Hopefully, we're not going to create that, but idea for people. Oh, I'll watch this podcast. Who's going to cancel it? They're going to be sending us letters and court dates and stuff. So we were the cause of that. Let's not get there, guys. But with that in mind, obviously, just going back to what we are about. Obviously, when you look at affiliate marketing, again, it's somehow similar to Netflix, isn't it? It's been started, and obviously there is a lot of people have done the evolution side of things, isn't it? We've sort of got the same thing. We've taken all the crap out of it. We're currently in the process of finishing last bits of our course that will help you, potential, obviously, customers and users to, create sort of multiple streams of income the easy way for cutting all this stuff out that you guys see, obviously, on YouTube. The formula was there. And I think with what we got, we're actually, created a little bit better. We've streamlined it, so it actually helps, sort of that evolution side of things. Affiliate marketing's there, done it. We'll actually step sort of higher up, creating something better. So that's what we're all about, So I want to sort of, bring that up to you guys as well, that, we're not like Netflix, we're like better.
No, that's a good thing Dave said there. Is in what we do, we have took something that was there, a business model that was there, and we've put our spin on it and evolved it a step on. But I know for sure after conversations we've already had about plans for the future now, we'll continue to evolve and step on with everything we're doing. And even with this podcast and stuff, there's already been conversations had about upping the quality and bettering things and take on feedback on board that you guys have given us to better it and just keep evolving. But you have to, as a business, as an individual, everything you have to keep bettering or you get left behind. And this is what's happened with Netflix.
Yeah.
I hope you've enjoyed today's one. I know it's probably a slightly shorter one than usual. And you've enjoyed it and stuff. Like I said earlier on at the start, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. It really means a lot. Hit that like button if you've enjoyed this video today. Hit that notification bell for when we release new content. We're looking now at releasing multiple podcasts a week now and like we said earlier, evolving and doing more content for you guys. So please hit that bell because that will let you know when we're releasing more content. And you got anything else from you, Dave?
Just one thing, make sure you guys comment. Commenting is important. You give us a feedback. If you like it, you not like it, any sort of topics you want us to discuss and talk about, anything that's obviously currently happening in the world or whatever, or even just, maybe something business related, how online business is revolving. Is there anything else out there? Just give us, a little comment down there, but also to what Ben has says, like and subscribe, guys. Make sure you follow us on our social media platforms where we are, so Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and things like that. We've also got our own Facebook group now, which sort of as part of this podcast, discussions and where we are as a business and where we want to do. So if you want to obviously join that as well, the link will be down in the description of this video. But from me, and it's for you, thank you very much.
Thank you. Goodbye.
See you next week, guys. Bye.
Bye.